For decades, you were told that eating eggs would clog your arteries and lead straight to a heart attack, especially as you get older. You dutifully switched to plain oatmeal, threw away the yolks, or stopped eating eggs altogether. But what if the very food you have been actively avoiding is actually the missing key to stopping age-related muscle loss, protecting your memory, and keeping your eyes sharp after 60? The medical advice on eggs has flip-flopped so many times over the years that it is enough to make anyone dizzy. One year they are a superfood. The next year they are a health hazard. Today, we are settling the great egg debate for seniors once and for all. How many eggs is actually too many when you are 70? The answer is going to surprise you, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the outdated dietary guidelines you were taught in the 1980s. Let me tell you about a very common situation. Let's call him Arthur. Arthur is 72 years old. Back in the late 1990s, his doctor noticed his cholesterol was creeping up. So Arthur did what most responsible, health-conscious people did back then. He completely cut out eggs. His hearty breakfasts were replaced by dry toast, fruit, and highly processed cereals. Fast forward 20 years. Arthur's cholesterol numbers are technically okay, but he is feeling incredibly weak. He struggles to open jars that used to be easy. His balance feels a bit unsteady when he walks down the stairs, and he feels entirely drained of energy by 2 in the afternoon. Arthur is experiencing sarcopenia, which is the medical term for age-related muscle loss. It is a silent, progressive thief that steals independence from millions of older adults every single year. And the tragic irony of Arthur's situation? The high-quality, easily digestible protein he desperately needed to maintain that muscle mass was sitting right there in the egg carton he was told to throw in the trash. The fear of dietary cholesterol has been drilled into our heads for half a century. We look at a golden egg yolk and we have been conditioned to see a ticking time bomb. But we need to look at what actually happens to your body after you turn 60. Your digestion naturally slows down. Your stomach produces less acid, making it harder to break down heavy meats. Your body overall becomes much less efficient at extracting nutrients from the food you eat. Because of this, you actually need more nutrient-dense foods as you age, not less. You need foods that pack a massive nutritional punch into a small, easily digestible package. And there are very few foods on Earth as nutrient-dense as a whole egg. But wait, doesn't eating yolks raise your blood cholesterol and cause plaque in your arteries? If you already have a heart condition or high blood pressure, shouldn't you just stick to the liquid egg whites from the carton? We are going to get to the exact science-backed number of eggs you can safely eat per week in just a moment, including a very specific and strict warning for those who are dealing with diabetes. You absolutely do not want to miss that part because it completely changes the rules of the game. But first, we have to talk about the yolk. The yolk is where the actual magic happens. Yes, it contains cholesterol. There is no denying that. But nutritional science has drastically changed its tune on this over the last decade. For the vast majority of the population, the cholesterol you consume in your food has a very minor, almost insignificant impact on the actual cholesterol floating around in your blood. Your liver is a smart organ. It produces cholesterol every single day because your body needs it to build cells and make hormones. When you eat more cholesterol from an egg, your liver simply produces less of it to keep your levels perfectly balanced. What the yolk also contains, which is far more important, is a nutrient called choline. Choline is a brain-boosting powerhouse that is absolutely vital for seniors. It helps your body produce a neurotransmitter called acetylcholine, which is essential for short-term memory, learning, and regulating your mood. If you are worried about cognitive decline, brain fog, or just feeling mentally sluggish, choline is your best friend. And guess what? Most older adults are not getting nearly enough of it in their daily diets. Just 2 large eggs provide over half of your entire daily choline requirement. Then there is lutein and zeaxanthin. These are powerful antioxidants found in high concentrations in the yolk. They accumulate directly in the retina of your eye. Think of them as natural internal sunglasses. They protect your eyes from macular degeneration and cataracts, which are 2 of the leading causes of blindness and vision loss in older adults. Here is the kicker. The natural fat inside the egg yolk actually helps your body absorb these eye-protecting nutrients completely. If you only eat the egg whites, you are literally throwing away the brain food and the eye protection down the garbage disposal. Let's get back to Arthur and his muscle loss. As we age, our bodies experience a phenomenon called anabolic resistance. This means your muscles simply do not respond to protein as efficiently as they did when you were 30 or 40. To trigger muscle growth, or even just to stop your existing muscles from wasting away, you need a much higher dose of high-quality protein at every single meal. An egg is widely considered the absolute gold standard of protein in the nutritional world. It has a perfect score on the protein digestibility scale. It contains all 9 essential amino acids in the exact, precise proportions your aging body needs to repair damaged tissue, build strong muscle, and keep your immune system fighting off illness. More importantly, eggs are rich in an amino acid called leucine. Leucine is like the ignition switch for muscle building. Without enough leucine, your body simply will not maintain muscle mass, no matter how much you exercise. And because eggs are soft and easy to chew, they are the perfect protein source for seniors who might have dental issues or trouble chewing tough cuts of steak or chicken. So if eggs are this incredible, highly digestible superfood for the brain, the eyes, and the muscles, why are some doctors still warning older adults to limit them? Why is there still so much confusion? It comes down to a very specific interaction between the eggs you eat, your current medical health status, and what else is sitting on your breakfast plate. There is a specific threshold, a maximum number of eggs per week, where the health benefits peak and the potential risks might start to rise for certain individuals. I am going to reveal exactly what that magic number is for healthy seniors, and the completely different number you need to follow if you have underlying health conditions right now. But before I give you that exact breakdown and tell you how to safely incorporate them into your routine, if you are finding this information eye-opening and you want to discover more hidden truths about what to eat to protect your body and mind as you age, tap that subscribe button right now. It is completely free. It really helps support the research we do to bring you these deep dives, and it ensures you never miss out on these crucial health updates. Thank you for subscribing. Let's get straight to the numbers. How many eggs is too many at 70? For the average, generally healthy adult over 60, meaning you do not have severe heart disease, you are not diabetic, and your doctor is generally happy with your blood work. The current consensus among top nutritional scientists is that eating up to 7 eggs a week is perfectly safe and highly beneficial. That is, 1 egg a day. However, many recent large-scale studies suggest that for healthy older adults, eating up to 12 eggs a week, which is about 2 eggs a day for 6 days, does not increase the risk of heart disease at all. In fact, it actually improves their overall nutrient status, energy levels, and muscle retention significantly. Your body thrives on that constant supply of perfect protein and brain-healthy fats. But here is where the story shifts, and this is the crucial nuance you need to understand to protect yourself. If you have type 2 diabetes, the rules are completely different. Multiple studies have shown that high egg consumption, meaning more than 7 a week, can actually increase the risk of heart disease in people who are already struggling with diabetes. The way a diabetic body processes fats and cholesterol is compromised. Therefore, if you are diabetic, or if you have a history of severe cardiovascular events like a previous heart attack, the safer medically advised limit is usually around 3 to 4 whole eggs per week. You can still enjoy them, but moderation is key for your specific biology. Now, we have to talk about the biggest trap people fall into regarding eggs. It is a trap that skewed decades of nutritional research. When we think of eggs for breakfast, what do we picture right next to them on the plate? Bacon, heavily processed sausage links, buttered white toast, and hash browns fried in cheap vegetable oils. The massive long-term studies from the 1970s and 80s that originally blamed eggs for heart attacks failed to account for the company that eggs keep. It is not the egg that is causing inflammation and clogging your arteries. It is the heavy saturated fat and preservatives from the processed meats, and the massive spike in blood sugar from the refined carbohydrates in the white toast and potatoes that you eat with the egg. If you fry 3 eggs in bacon grease and serve them with a side of processed sodium-heavy sausage, yes, that meal is a disaster for your heart. But if you poach 2 eggs or scramble them lightly in a little bit of extra virgin olive oil and serve them alongside sliced avocado, some sautéed spinach, or a piece of high-quality whole-grain sourdough toast, you have just created one of the most powerful anti-aging meals on the planet. The egg itself is innocent. It is the traditional Western breakfast platter that is guilty. We also need to talk about the different types of eggs, because when you walk into the supermarket, the egg aisle is a giant wall of confusing marketing labels. Cage-free, free-range, pasture-raised, omega-3 enriched, vegetarian-fed. What actually matters for a 70-year-old body trying to stay healthy? If your grocery budget allows for it, pasture-raised eggs are the absolute best choice you can make. These eggs come from hens that are actually allowed to roam outside in the dirt, eat a natural diet of bugs and worms, and soak up the sun. Because of this natural lifestyle, pasture-raised eggs have significantly more vitamin E, more vitamin A, and up to twice as much omega-3 fatty acids compared to conventional, cheap, factory-farmed eggs. Omega-3Es are the healthy fats that actively reduce inflammation in your joints and protect your heart. If pasture-raised eggs are too expensive or hard to find, your next best bet is to look for omega-3 enriched eggs. These come from hens fed a diet that includes flax seeds, which naturally boosts those heart-healthy fats in the yolk. And please, ignore the vegetarian-fed label. Chickens are naturally omnivores. They are supposed to eat bugs. A vegetarian diet for a chicken usually just means they were fed cheap corn and soy, which doesn't give you the best nutritional profile. Let's also touch on how you cook your eggs because the heat in your frying pan can alter their health benefits. When you cook an egg over extremely high heat until the yolk is hard, chalky, and dry, the cholesterol inside the yolk can actually oxidize. Oxidized cholesterol is the bad kind, the kind that actively contributes to inflammation in your blood vessels. To get the absolute maximum benefit with the least amount of risk, you want to cook your eggs gently. Poaching, soft boiling, or a slow low-heat scramble are the best methods. You want the egg whites cooked entirely through to kill any potential bacteria and to make the protein fully digestible, but keeping the yolk just a little bit soft or runny preserves the delicate heat-sensitive nutrients like lutein and choline. You might be sitting there thinking, I have avoided eggs for 30 years. Is it too late for me to start getting these benefits? Absolutely not. Your body's ability to utilize high-quality protein and brain-boosting nutrients does not just shut down because you hit a certain birthday. In fact, introducing a highly bioavailable protein source like whole eggs can make a noticeable difference in your daily energy levels, your satiety, and your muscle strength in a matter of weeks. Seniors often struggle with weight management, specifically losing muscle while gaining fat around the midsection. Eggs are incredibly satiating. Having 2 eggs for breakfast keeps you full and stabilizes your blood sugar for hours, which stops you from reaching for sugary snacks mid-morning. Consider the impact on your bones, too. We talk constantly about needing calcium as we age, but vitamin D is the key that unlocks the door, allowing your body to actually absorb that calcium from your food. Egg yolks are one of the very few natural food sources of vitamin D. As we get older, our skin becomes significantly less efficient at synthesizing vitamin D from sunlight. This makes dietary sources like eggs incredibly important to prevent osteoporosis and dangerous bone fractures from falls. So let's summarize the reality of the great egg debate. Eggs are not the enemy. They never were. They are a convenient, affordable, and incredibly powerful natural multivitamin wrapped in a shell. The old idea that eating a whole egg will immediately spike your bad cholesterol and ruin your heart is outdated science that has been thoroughly debunked by modern research. If you're over 60, worried about losing your physical strength, worried about your memory slipping, or concerned about your vision fading, whole eggs should be a staple in your kitchen, not something to fear. Remember the golden numbers. Up to 7 to 12 eggs a week if you are generally healthy, and around 3 to 4 a week if you're actively managing diabetes or severe heart issues. Pay attention to how you cook them. Keep the heat low and gentle, and pay close attention to what you serve them with. Ditch the processed breakfast meats and embrace vegetables and healthy fats instead. Your body is a complex, amazing machine, and as it gets older, it demands higher quality fuel to keep running smoothly. Do not let old myths keep you from eating one of nature's most perfect foods. Reclaim your health, protect your muscles, and start rethinking your breakfast tomorrow.